So part 2 of my first John Deere 4450. So the salesman says, let's make an offer on these tractors, And he said that 4440, he goes, I think we can get it to you for 18.5. I forget what they were asking, but it was a really nice 4440. It had been repainted, but it was done at Duran Implement with all John Deere stuff, and it looked good. And it was a quad range, but it was a nice tractor. And he goes, I think I can get you that for 18.5. And I'm like, I do like that tractor, and that fits under my $20,000 budget. And he goes, but this 4450, he goes, I think we could get this cheaper. And I go, yeah, cheaper, but I mean, they were asking 29.5. I think if the ad said originally they wanted 29.5, they went down to 27.5, and they go, make an offer. So Tom says, well, let's make an offer. How about 23.5? And I go, geez, Tom, that's a big cut, I said, and besides, I go, that's still $3,500 over what I'm supposed to be spending. So Tom goes, I tell you what. He goes, what was the interest rate that they had quoted you on that Magnum or whatever, payment? What was the payment, And I forget what it was. He goes, well, if I can get you this for 23.5 with a little better interest rate, he goes, payment's probably going to be real close. Now, if you're wondering about my banker, I guess I was kind of sidestepping him, which he was fine with, but you still wanted his permission, because when you've got all that debt, you don't want your bank mad at you. So they were fine with me going somewhere else for the tractor, but I wanted them, I wanted him to, approve it, give his blessing. Well, anyways, Tom gets a hold of John Deere Credit, and I think it had to be like 2 points cheaper on a variable. But I was scared of a variable, so I took a fixed rate, and it went up like a point, but it was still cheaper interest than, I'm guessing our equipment used Ag Direct or whatever. Maybe it had a different name back then, but as far as I know, that'd be Farm Credit. And when I went down and looked at that 4450, I'm like, well, I better look at it. And that tractor was just, it was sharp, really, really sharp. Quad range, but full rack of front weights, 10-bolt John Deere axle mount duals on it, and it was nice. It's too bad that these pictures got dirty, or I don't know, but there is the 4450 with my 3950 chopper. There's my 1219 John Deere hay bale. There it was pulling the wedding party at a friend of mine's wedding back in 04. Yeah, I wish this picture wouldn't have got wet. But yeah, it was a really nice 4450. So I get back from looking at that 4450, and I said, Tom, I'll take it. If you can make that work, I'll take it. He goes, yep, done deal. He calls me a little while later, and he goes, we got a problem. And I'm like, what? Did John Deere not approve the financing or what? And he goes, Arcadia doesn't want to let it go. So the Ellsworth store was selling a tractor off of Arcadia's lot. And Arcadia's like, no, he's not selling it. And the deal was corporate had approved it because everything was, make an offer on it. Well, Arcadia's like, if they were going to sell it that cheap, we would have sold it to one of our customers, not letting somebody else sell it that cheap. Plus, I'm guessing that made the salesman look bad because they were probably selling it for less than they had, invested into that tractor. So I'm like, so we can't get it? And Tom goes, well, I'm going to see what I can do. And he called the guy that was the owner of the dealership group himself. And he said to him, he goes, Sig, here's the deal. I got a young guy here, was going to buy this 4450, and Arcadia won't let it go. And basically that corporate had said, go ahead and sell it, but Arcadia is saying that it can't go. And I guess Sig asked a couple of questions. He's like, well, who is it? And Tom said, well, it's this young guy, Ryan Kelly. He owns his own farm. Corporate approved it. Arcadia won't let it go. And Sig goes, Well, if it was okay, then you told him he was buying it, let him have his tractor. He said, you tell Arcadia that they're getting that to let that guy have that tractor. And that was that. And that always stood out to me that, he took the time, he owned 5 dealerships to be like, no, young guy should have that tractor. And that always stuck with me. MDMA became Tractor Central, and they've always been good to me, especially the Durand store. That's my hometown dealer, even though they're 27 miles away. So, Ellsworth Equipment sold it, $23,500. Put $2,000 down and went through John Deere Credit. Durand handled the John Deere financing, and this is kind of cool. So look, milk check assignment. So it came out every month out of my milk check. I don't know, they screwed up the date there when they put the first payment of 04, but no, it was 4.4 is what it ended up being for fixed. Said it could have been 3.25 for variable, but yeah. So for 5 years, monthly payments on milk check assignment. So I was all excited, had the paperwork signed, time to get my tractor, and Tom calls me up and he goes, hey, you got a way to get it home. Arcadia won't haul it. They're refusing trucking on it. So my buddy John, we loaded it on his gooseneck behind his, I think, 03 Chevy pickup, and he hauled it home for me. And, man, I was so happy. That first night, I think I slept in the cab. I'm pretty sure I did. And, I put a towel down in the seat of that tractor, and just it wasn't like it was going to go spread manure and stuff. I took really good care of that tractor, and it was, probably my prized thing I owned. I had like a $1,500 pickup, but I had a really nice 4450. And what's crazy is that 4450, I think it had 8,000 or 9,000 hours on it. It was similar to that Magnum. I think it was a little bit higher hours than that Magnum, but not by much. Today, I paid $23,500 for that tractor. As nice as it was and with the hours on it, a dealer would be asking well over $40,000 for that tractor today. And like I said, I had junk vehicles, but my nice 4450, on more than one occasion, I drove it to the bar. Girls like a nice tractor. Oh, and then in August of 2004, I tractor pulled it. I took it to the county fair, and I remember we were chopping with it. Me and a buddy of mine were chopping, and sent another friend up to register it at the fairgrounds, and he just told him he'll be coming. He's chopping with it right now. And, you'd think, well, just right out of the field, what's it going to do? And it was kind of funny because I turned it up, and luckily this tractor had a Bosch pump on it instead of a Nippon Denso pump, and it was a non-aneroid pump. And I opened the pump all the way up. I washed it, set the drawbar, got up there, and it was funny. There was a guy that was pulling that had a 1466 that was like, they had chrome stuff on it, had a big pump, 3LM charger, big injectors, big lines. They made him pull exhibition. And he said, well, can I at least pull with the class? And they said, yes, but you'll be disqualified. I ended up putting like 8 feet on him with that 4450. I only lost to another guy with a 1466 that had a bunch of work done that was smart enough not to make it look too, wild and stuff. He beat me by inches. It had Armstrong radials on it, and that tractor ran. I mean, power-wise, it ran. We put it on the chopper, and I left it turned up some, and that thing was nuts. Like, you couldn't hardly slow that tractor down. And someday I'll talk about the 4455 it got traded in on. But I traded it in Millbank, South Dakota at Grant County Implement. And if you are in that area and you have an 83 model, triple remotes, 10-bolt axle mount John Deere duals on it, I didn't let the weights go with it, quad range, and there's a sticker on it that says Arcadia Equipment, Arcadia, Wisconsin. That's maybe my 4450. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the tractor stories, and I'm going to record them through TikTok for now. So have a good one. Thanks.